With Wednesday needing a bit of a upheaval in the squad in January, the couple of players who it looks like probably are not going to be in the squad in January and be told to go or go back to parent clubs. Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone's doing well. Like, share and subscribe. I've much appreciated everything that helped the channel, and we're just ticking along nicely as everything goes. I know it's not great being a Wednesday fan at the minute, and I won't lie, covering us isn't the greatest at the minute, but I will carry on regardless because I do like making the videos. So Sheffield Wednesday in January I still reckon we need about five players in January, but are we going to get it? Who knows? But there are players that it seems like we're probably going to get rid of. I think Fletcher is probably going to go back to his parent club, Watford. It sounds like Hendrick could be on that list as well to go back. I believe Butley will probably get recalled, which I'm gutted about because I was hoping to see a bit more of Butley in the squad. You could see the kind of likes of a Tyrese Backinson leave as well. And the big one who it's just not worked out for whatever reason when there is Malik Wilks. I know I did a massive summer on Wilk coming in and thinking he was going to be the player he was for Hull and a little bit at Donny, but it's just not worked out. He's had injuries, he's had issues off the pitch by the sounds of it. It sounds like it's a bit more of a mental issue more than anything with Malik. And this is the thing, it's one of those things, it's a transfer that a lot of people when it came in were very much like, this is a risk. With better players out there, we should go for this. But Darren wanted him, and Darren got who he wanted. Now, since coming in 2022, he scored 1 goal. That's it. I think he's record for the club in terms of appearances. It's hardly that much. If I can think off the top of my head, let me have a look. He made 20 appearances since 2022, and that's just nowhere near enough. And if you actually look at his record, where he's been on loan. When he was at loan at Donny, 46 and 14. When he was at Barnsley, 15 and 1. Hull, 12 and 4 when on loan. His best spell was when he was at Hull, 71 appearances, 23 goals. And you look at that and you think, that's got to be higher. Now, Tyrese Backinson is doing okay in the under-21s at the moment, but he's another one that came in who we got told by Bristol City fans he's got a bad attitude, he's not great. Nigel Pearson at the time when he was manager there turned around and said he's not great, but we managed to get him in. And at the time I'm thinking maybe this could be the right person to come in and do something, but it's just not worked for him either. And we have a big squad, we've got 30 players or so, and we need to start swapping and changing some things around. You're going to want to see Danny will bring in his own players he wants. Now, here's the thing. Even if he brings in his own players in January, and it could mean that we could have the situation where we're still near the bottom and really struggling and we're probably down and we're building for next season. He's still got to be allowed to have his own players in. And I think that is crucial. But you look at what we've got in terms of players. It's a very aging squad, and it needs freshening up. It needs a massive freshening up in everything, and that's the thing. We need to be very much aware that if we're gonna do this properly in a rebuild in the League One, I reckon it's got to be a Championship team in League One, like others have done. If you go by ages in our squad, it is ridiculous how top end of 30 a lot of the players are than the other end. I think we've got a couple who were... You've got Lee Gregory 35, Bannon 33, Smith 32, Palmer 32, Johnson 32, Awitway 30, Delgado 30, Volt 30, Reece James 30, and everyone else is pushing 29, 28. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players who are top end of 30. And you look at also the likes of Michael Awitway, had been another player who'd been touted as possibly a move away from Wednesday. Now, I personally would like to see Awitway get given a chance. and play a bit more. I think he's probably a little bit better than what we got. But at the same time, we need to have a complete refresh of the squad. And a refresh of the squad where it's done properly. And I mean that where there's no interference in the summer of figuring out who the next manager is. There's no interference of that. It needs to have a proper good run. Now, I think this week we'll probably see a lot of things happen behind the scenes and probably not announced till next week. As been said, we are still looking for a goalkeeping coach and a set-piece coach. And it sounds like we are very close to possibly getting a new head of scouting in, head of recruitment, whatever you want to call it. The thing is, we desperately need to have some stability at the club. And the problem is, I don't know if stability is something you can have with the club at the moment without something else, I think, happening. So let's see what happens. But Danny will need to have a good transfer window in January, whatever happens and wherever we are in the league. There was a question last night by somebody on the live stream said, would you rather save the money in the January window and then use it more in the summer? The part of me that says yes, that's a good idea. And then the part of me that says no, because you still want Danny to get players in who he wants to use and play with in that team, so he can start getting them up to speed in the games that they've got left, so they know the culture. I think it's a very difficult position when they're in terms of that transfer window, because it's going to be really difficult to get players to come into a team in the position we currently are in at the minute if we're still there. But we'll see what happens. We need to go on one hell of a run after the international break, and that's all down to players. That's down to players. That's down to Danny, figuring out what he can get done. But we need to start looking at a younger squad, a hungrier squad, because there's some players who have been at this club for a very long time now. And for good reason, because they're good. Like, Barry Bannon is still very good quality in that midfield. Liam Palmer, when playing, I still think he's a very good player. Not getting played at the minute, but there's those kind of things. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the January transfer window and what we get given in terms of a transfer budget by Chansiri for Danny to use, and how many players will get sold to make up the fact that we need some funds, or just sold to make room in the squad. So let me know what you think. Is there any players that you think Wendy should go for in the January window? Make it realistic, please. Who could come in and possibly do a job? Let me know. Have a look, and maybe I take some of those players that you suggested and I do a video on those players and saying where they would be good and where they won't be good. So up to you. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And I'm trying to remember to use the end green because I keep forgetting I've got one.